Richard Dawkins' Science in the Soul is a compilation of essays that presents his views on science, rationality, and the defense of reason against the encroachments of superstition and pseudoscience. It brings together a wide array of topics, from evolutionary biology to the defense of scientific thinking, while simultaneously reflecting on ethical, social, and political concerns. The collection is characterized by Dawkins' distinctive prose, combining erudition with passion. One of the major themes of Science in the Soul is the unyielding defense of science as the best tool humans have for understanding the world. Dawkins emphasizes that science is not just a collection of facts, but a method of inquiry that rigorously tests ideas through evidence and reason. He contrasts this with religion, which he argues relies on faith without evidence. Dawkins insists that the scientific method allows for self-correction. Errors in science can be identified and corrected because hypotheses are constantly tested and re-evaluated in the face of new data. He makes clear that this process of revision is a strength of science, not a weakness. Dawkins continually returns to the theme of rationality's conflict with superstition, mysticism, and the rise of alternative facts in public discourse. He explores how pseudoscience and irrational beliefs, particularly those rooted in religion, undermine intellectual progress. Through his essays, Dawkins critiques movements such as creationism and intelligent design, stressing that these ideologies dismiss evidence in favor of dogma. He views this anti-science sentiment as deeply dangerous, not only to scientific progress, but also to society as a whole, as it encourages ignorance over critical thinking. Dawkins does not just present science as a tool for understanding, but also as a source of wonder. He frequently reflects on the beauty and awe that comes from scientific discovery, whether it's the complexity of biological life or the vastness of the universe. For Dawkins, appreciating the natural world through the lens of science is a profoundly enriching experience that should inspire humility rather than any need for supernatural explanations. As with much of Dawkins' work, Science in the Soul revisits his most famous subject, evolution by natural selection. He reaffirms his position that Darwin's theory of evolution provides a unifying framework for understanding the complexity of life on Earth. Dawkins critiques those who misrepresent or misunderstand evolution, including proponents of creationism, as fundamentally misinterpreting the science. He also expands on the philosophical implications of evolution, arguing that it reshapes our understanding of humanity's place in the universe. Evolution for Dawkins is a humbling force that challenges anthropocentric worldviews. In addition to science, Dawkins explores moral and ethical questions, particularly the role of science in informing our values. He defends the view that moral decisions should be based on reason, evidence, and a consideration of the consequences of actions, rather than on religious edicts. Dawkins argues that secular morality, grounded in empathy and rational thought, offers a stronger and more adaptable ethical framework. He also touches on contentious topics such as euthanasia and animal rights, making the case for rational debate and evidence-based policies in these areas. Dawkins is well known for his clear, persuasive writing style, and Science in the Soul is no exception. He combines logical arguments with vivid metaphors, often drawing from biology and natural history. His analogies help readers grasp complex ideas, and his passion for science shines through in his eloquent defense of reason. However, Dawkins can be combative, particularly when discussing religion and pseudoscience. His writing frequently takes a polemical tone when confronting irrational beliefs, and he does not shy away from controversial statements. Critics of Dawkins have accused him of being overly harsh on religion, and his dismissive attitude toward faith might alienate some readers. Nevertheless, his essays are consistent with his long-standing position as a fierce advocate for rationalism. The title essay Science in the Soul serves as a rallying cry for scientists and those who appreciate science. Dawkins emphasizes the importance of cultivating a scientific soul, by which he means fostering a mindset that seeks truth through evidence, is open to changing one's mind, and finds beauty in the complexity of the natural world. He contrasts this with the rigid dogmatism of religion. In The Battle for Evolution, Dawkins revisits many of the debates surrounding evolution and its detractors. He critiques the misconceptions held by creationists and elaborates on how natural selection explains not just the origin of species, but also their intricate adaptations and behaviors. This essay is particularly focused on addressing how evolution is misrepresented in educational and political discourse. In Proud to be an Atheist, Dawkins defends atheism not just as a personal stance, but as a moral and rational necessity in the face of growing religious influence on public policy. He argues that religion often promotes division, rationality, and a rejection of scientific progress. He calls for atheists to be unapologetic about their views and to stand firmly for reason. In The Case for Outrage, Dawkins addresses the problem of complacency in the face of irrationality and pseudoscience. He argues that the scientific community must actively combat ignorance and misinformation, particularly in an era when public discourse is shaped by media that often promote alternative facts. The essay reflects Dawkins' concern about the increasing disregard for expert knowledge in areas like climate change and vaccination.